Hey everyone, welcome back to the 5 Pints Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie V. Today we're going to be talking about why Canada shouldn't become a 51st state. Because I want to remind you guys of a time of why we were so proud to be Canadian. Okay? Because I was proud to be a Canadian. And I'll be damned if I moved to Northern Ontario instead of America, because yes, I was going to immigrate to go to America, and it has been on the back of my mind this entire time, but at no time did I ever want Canada to not be a country anymore. If I wanted to move to America, I would have, okay? But my husband and I went over pros and cons of all of this stuff, because when you're moving, and especially 7 hours, it's a very big deal. So we weighed out everything, and I'm home, okay? So I know that our education system is kind of whack here, but at least I'm home and I'm able to be there with my children when they come home from school and explain to things, like have a close relationship with them so I can be a strong driving force in their lives, okay? I might not be able to handle homeschooling my children, but I am there for them every step of the way. I am there for them at the school. I am there for the school. I'm 100% dedicated to my kids, okay? And in America, the thing is that there's pros and cons. I'm not saying America is a bad place to live, because I was genuinely going to move there. But I wanted to have another child. My husband doesn't. Well, I understand, because the economy is shit, okay? And he's being realistic about it. But if we ever did have an accidental child, are you kidding me? I'd rather have it in Canada. Number one, they give more you-know-what in the States. That's my number one thing. The childhood schedule is way more in the States than it is in Canada. Number two, I'm not paying $60,000 to shove a baby out of me, all right? And then I'm not going to lose my job, okay, to be off with my baby, because we know in Canada that no matter what side you're on, conservative or liberal, that being home with your baby is the most important thing. And I'm not shaming moms who don't fucking get me wrong. I don't care what you do with your children, but we have given moms the opportunity to stay home because we know that that's what's best for children and best for society, no matter what society you're in. Capitalism, communism, socialism. Children are important in Canada, okay? And so are single moms. The States is really the only place that I've ever seen that wants pro-life laws, but not to help single moms. I've never seen that in my life. Anyways, when I think back to my teenagehood and I think back to like my early adulthood, okay, I think back to the times when Stephen Harper was in, and I quite literally cannot stop thinking about how amazing Canada used to be. Because we didn't always have shit healthcare, okay? We didn't always overclog our systems with immigrants and have an influx of people coming here using all of our services that we paid into. We used to actually access our services. I could, like I said before, go to Service Canada and they would help me. Person with disabilities, this is very, very helpful. They would be there to help me fill out my EI so that when CRA, if something happened with the CRA, they couldn't come back on me. Okay? And not only that, it was almost like every time I went and got my taxes done pre-Trudeau, there wasn't some fucking surprise of, oh, you owe money this way. Oh, you owe money this way. Like, everything was done so cohesively and coherently that everything just fucking worked in Canada. Have you guys not noticed that nothing works anymore? It genuinely does not work. No system is functioning, whether you think about our healthcare, our schools. And that's because of DEI stuff. And I'm not joking you, okay? You guys think that that's like, I am not joking you, because it is, DEI stuff goes along with the lines of people are allowed to do whatever they want because they might have had a fucking bad day. That's exactly why the bail system exists, where they let people out over and over again to commit crimes. That's their entire plan, is that people might have a bad day. No, people need consequences for their actions. And if anything, if there's one thing I could critique Stephen Harper on, is that we needed higher sanctions for crimes. We didn't need to go back. We need more. We need to make sure that Paul Bernardo stays in maximum security. And you know what else? If you're going to do that, you better damn well make sure that the victims have fucking support their entire lives too. Because tell me how it's fair that these victims have to go through trial after trial, year after year, be reminded of the worst times in their lives and not get any fucking financial support, while criminals get to live under taxpayer dollars for free for the rest of their fucking lives. Tell me how that's fair. We used to send people to jail. People used to be afraid to steal here. People used to you used to be able to live in a Canada where you genuinely did not lock your doors. You didn't, or unless you lived in like a city, but you didn't have to worry about it if you forgot. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be in every single night something's going to happen to you. We used to be able to go to Toronto. My mom would take me to Much Music. We had so much fun because even as a single mom, she was able to take me to these places because things didn't cost an arm and a leg, and they didn't tax us at 53 fucking %. So she actually got her overtime money, and her dollar went farther. I can't even take my daughter, and my husband makes twice as much as what my mom did when I was in high school. We should be sitting comfortably, and we're not, because what my husband's paycheck equals is they take 53%. So we're living off of 53% of my husband's income, plus all of the other bullshit that we have to pay into and buy when groceries. Because here's the thing, people will tell you, it's the CEOs. CEOs have always been greedy as shit, okay? They don't want us to not eat. They cheap out by not hiring people full-time and treating their employees like shit, okay? I know how they're greedy. This is taxes. They still need to make their greedy money, okay? They still need to make their profit margins. How are they going to do that? By not absorbing the taxes that the government's putting on them, but putting them back onto us. I'm not sure why people think that's some sort of conspiracy theory, that adding taxes to things and businesses is going to make the cost of living go up, but you're delusional for thinking not. Like, anyways, this is supposed to be a message of hope, all right? But I just want to say that, during the worst times of my life, from when I was adopted to being a single mom, I never once looked out into the country and thought, I'm never going to make it. How the fuck am I going to make it? Because living in Canada meant that even though I went through all of that, I was still able to pull up my socks and get to work and work hard and earn my spot in society. Like, you can no longer do that. It's not possible. When I was a single mom, I looked forward to the day where I worked at the school board and could afford a house for my daughter and I on my own. Do you think that would ever happen now for a single mom? Not unless they're a trust fund baby, I'll tell you that much. Canada has not always been this dysfunctional, okay? And maybe that's why I have such a soft spot for Pierre Poilievre, okay? Because he was adopted too. And I think that it's impressive that despite because being adopted, no matter what, it's going to be hard. And I think, to me, Pierre Poilievre is truly everything that Justin Trudeau wishes he was. He was adopted. He's not privileged. He didn't come from privilege. He's earned everything that he's gotten. And yes, he might have a career politician, but I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing, considering his riding keeps voting him in. Not only that, that's what he's wanted to do. So if your dream is to help your community and help the country, I think that's a bit admirable, don't you think? In any other job, that would be impressive. I can only hope, after watching what's going on in the States right now, that we get an election soon, because this is just the Liberals' way of stalling for God knows what, really. We have no government right now, and yet we have Donald Trump threatening to literally take over our country and dissolve our borders. I don't even know what that means, but I moved to Northern Ontario because I'm proud to be a Canadian. I'm proud of who we are, despite what Justin Trudeau says. Justin Trudeau has done everything he can to strip our identities from us. And you know how I noticed this? When I was reading what they did to the Indigenous people. I actually did the work, the education, educated myself. And as soon as I did, I recognized the same patterns that they did to the Indigenous people happening to us now. You know, my great-grandparents had no idea when they came over here what they were doing to the Indigenous people. And then they put them on land that was right near the Thames River, which would have been Indigenous land. My grandparents had no idea. And I think it's sad. Like, I was really happy thinking that we were going to be working together with Indigenous communities to figure out how to merge and make this thriving society, from learning how they communicate to from learning how we can do better. And, you know, combining that, because yes, we might have made a mistake of putting people into reservations and residential schools, but we've learned our lesson, right? No, not right. No. When I read about what happened in the residential schools, it was during the time of pandemic. The shit that they made me do to kids, as in, like, not like hurt them, like beat them or anything, but like just the psychological shit that they did to kids, like separating them from their friends, not letting them play because, you know, diseases and all of these things, and ostracized. Like, I'm so glad that I was in a classroom where we prioritize the children's mental health over school that year, because I don't know what I would have done. I would have felt guilty if I was ever in a classroom with a teacher that was mean. Like, thank God I was in a nice classroom, but I digress. Canada was a place where, as a single mom with disabilities, I was able to get a college diploma by myself. I don't have support. I was able to go to college, get a diploma, get my dream job, and it was all ripped from me with the Liberals when they mandated things and I got sick. My entire life and all of the structures and pillars around it has been destroyed. And I chose to stay in Canada because Justin Trudeau is not Canada. He's not. He's a fucking phony, fake fuck. And Canadians need to get a grip and realize that our conservatives are not the same as the States. And the people who are cheering on globalization and demolishing our borders right now, you need to understand that you would only have Donald Trump for 4 more years and then the Democrats. I understand that Canada is not perfect and it wasn't before, but it was fucking amazing. I watched my parents go up and down, but there was never a time where we couldn't also do fun things. We can't do fun things. We have to save for months to go to Wonderland once a year now. I went 25 times in one summer before Trudeau, because I was so depressed from all of, you know, like a relationship and shit, that I just went there to be happy. And you know what? I moved to Northern Ontario because Wonderland is so fucking overcrowded and busy that it drives me nuts. I left. I genuinely didn't live here because of my grandparents. Moved to Northern Ontario because of my grandparents and Wonderland. And Wonderland has gotten so overrun because we have so many people. It's not even their fault, but we have so many people that I can't even enjoy the day anymore. I try my best. But when everybody's butting you and just cutting in line and treating you like shit, and it's annoying. And you also have to pay hundreds of dollars to go. That's not how it used to be. I just wanted to let Canadians know and remind them of who we are. We are known for being nice despite what our Prime Minister has told us. We are known for being kind to each other. We are known for being a melting pot that works because our old immigration system wasn't so corrupted that people didn't come to Canada just to take advantage of Canadians. We used to function as an amazing society. There's a reason why people used to brag about our healthcare system, and that's because it used to work. I really hope that people get their shit together, truly and honestly, because at this point, it looks to me like the people who were saying that, oh my God, the vaccine has a microchip in it, would potentially roll over and get the actual Neuralink from Elon Musk. And I'm just worried that if, like, do you guys like that in America? Like, you're not ever going to convince me that replacing our corrupt government with an even more corrupt government who is being ran by Elon Musk right now, okay, the cyborg man himself. No, I'm not a leftist, but I'm going to call out people's bullshit when I see it. You're not going to tell me you're afraid of the fucking vaccine having the microchip in it, which, by the way, it didn't. It had other horrible things in it, though. But actually be okay with the man who invented the real chip running our government. No. Now let's get a grip. Remember who we are, because we are Canadian. I'm going to show a commercial at the end of this, okay? So remember to like and subscribe. But we are Canadian, damn it. And we used to be proud of it. We used to be proud of it. And let's bring that back. Let's have an election, okay? None of this proroguing bullshit. Call the Governor General and demand an election. Email your MPs. We need an election, you guys. We can't stand idly by as we have people threatening our borders. So I'm going to play this commercial, and you guys just think about what it used to mean to be Canadian and think, is that worth fighting for? We also have literally the most fresh water in the world. Don't let it go to the States. Okay, bye.
I know this place is where I am. No other place is better than. No matter where I go, I am proud to be Canadian. I am, you know I am. The worst that works out.
The one we call Canadian. Canadians.